Unim say a long week and a call a long weekend and a call and a Tuesday indeed. Metumaka Cho said the European Games Barcelona. I feel and a year by church removes any matches no a call any idea. You are Shannon say and then games we had El Honum. La Liga games was as soon as Carabao Honum and then Yawad. I will see the end of Paris Saint-Germain. Honey papa game no almost postpone ye. And yes, sir, can ra Kasika. Yes, it's a good button, just over 1.5. Keke, omo to me amo. A dear who some papa na ye den e buy e wo no. Na so and games na still a bit temu ankasa na Real Madrid the ball. Sevilla na Villarreal e the ball goes be papa. Sa game no goes be brutal. Bilbao so omo form na e bibia o. We are expecting them to bounce back against Girona. This how Martin say I can tell you on authority say Bilbao be both 2 goals for that game nim. And Real Madrid they call a 20. Real Madrid here victory. Esan said they need to respond to the Ballon d'Or na course no. And when say Real Madrid there's a Ballon d'Or course na say omo nipa anya areho ne abufuo na eba. Iti abufuo no omo de kwa koso e 20 so na anwumre. Mbappe besi fam Mbappe besi fam Vinicius Junior besi fam ne kan hu say Abrantia ye friend no Jude Bellingham so ay da return na nyasam keto akra enti hye nso ye papa ye bewram na afi aye Carabao Cup na Chelsea wo match ne nyasam keto akra e ho no enti no hye nso ye bedi sa ankomo no e ho na afi bibia so no etumi aden etumi akoye e ho no Din at the list to Robert Vincent Casa na Benedict Robert Nenka. Channel say show we live on Facebook na uko Facebook street is watching. Ye twegu ho street is watching. Ye twegu e ho no ma enye fedi agro. Street is watching. Ye twegu ho saso e na my bet. Na what the Africa na den. What in temu na the Africa na ba. My bet no what in temu na the Africa na den. Aba na bibia so no etumi akoye e ho no. Uko YouTuber my bet and I say MYBET.AFRICA TV, MYBET.AFRICA TV. Now online here, my bet online radio, and I uko my bet retail shops ni na ubehu ye say ya daso ate say ye church and semnimu medical bubi so de atro say Real Madrid the reason why and Real Madrid ebe win no maka saso na be ba so omo de no maka e de atro no maka Sevilla enso ne Villarreal so game no maka wansam e de atro ye behwe Liverpool match ne saso na Brighton and Hove Albion so match ne Chelsea match ne omo a results na anko ye this weekend nyina me sure bo say omo nyina no will have to what react and omo react here I just say they are reacting to win, they are reacting to defeat omo opponent na bibia so no atumi akoye e ho no aha Mr. Studio and I hit Mr. Studio. Yede show ni yede abroad. Nyasam keto akra. Hye so mame catch us in the games na wo ho no mame embo so fan chro. Mame embo so fan chro e ho no. La Liga na Atletico Bilbao 5 o'clock ya. Omo ni Girona ebo. Saso e na Espanyol ene Valencia. Omo so no omo ebo. Espanyol on trafie ma Valencia me hye ne da. Espanyol on trafie ma Valencia be hye da inti wetuma ko Espanyol home goal and say home win or draw saso ena Real Madrid ene Levante bebo ena Sevilla and so ene Villarreal and so e de be da so na afi bibia so no atumi ayeden akoye na ukọ English EFL Cup na say friend Carabao Cup na Barnsley ebe transfer no ne Brighton and Hove Albion abo sa match ni over 1.5 ebe bo papa Burnley ene Cardiff and so Burnley ne Cardiff no 1.5 Fulham and Cambridge United Fulham straight win and Chelsea ne Lincoln minimum the entire Chelsea sika no page but omo den Chelsea be win and the Chelsea win over 2.5 and Wigan and so ne Wakombe Wigan home goal saso and Wolves and Everton away goal and Wrexham and so ne Wrexham home goal and Liverpool ne Southampton Liverpool to score 2 and also game no eba and also make kan wasam e de atro the reason why I make kan we nyina no abajafo e de nchiremu ebe bro no wo hu de ekọ ene de eba ye other games and also ekọ so and also ekoko so a and also no ye de bibia keka ho edu all time na ye de bibia keka ho a na afi bibia so no atumi akoye ewo no Vincent bibia kama de
nyame adum list o bibia boko
yeah yenhwe games no over the weekend games and results night to Jano. Chelsea at the war, Sasona, say Liverpool, almost 5 points be last season the same thing almost started, but last season crowd by this time no more lose game back. Obekai, your international break in the Bayern, Ombe lose match against Nottingham Forest. Indeed, this year, so no, Oma Bogman, Arsenal na, do na say, obey ye near the Adeno, on a year Manchester City, a ball draw, just a last minute and almost take on. Yen room and a Chelsea so a quadrin and so Old Trafford. The bang, Diana Chelsea or some ya or me to Mako Aquaco win and Abibia so to Mako Yentia.
Yes, my main chair for now, yeah, my mom PM after I had a long weekend. Until they say virus beshe give na me that to Muna Arsenal striker no and they be in Mojmalisto. You see, when your prediction about Team Bena, if you believe it's this season or Belgian League, you know. I predicted say Arsenal Belgium because they did the right thing in terms of the kind of transfers they did. And in fact, if you look at the number of transfers on Maya, solving problems at the Amomo. So Omofri Bukayo Saka, they were missing some certain kind of energy. And now they've brought in Abrante Noni Midweek. And now the Arsenal fans I say, he say, hey, I say, Midweek by Arsenal or Bobo. To be very honest, if you don't watch Chelsea games, and if you've been watching Chelsea games, you know that whatever Midweek is doing at Arsenal is basically the same thing he was doing at Chelsea.
Yeah.
Despite the fact that Obaye goes Nyambai. Now,
on only game, no look, Yenche, on only game, and is it about goals?
That is why I say. In the ball, they take on it there. Whatever he was doing at Chelsea,
carries, no.
He is doing everything. And I'm just Oba Arsenal, he is doing everything. But at Chelsea, there were games of ball hat trick. There were games of share 2 goals. There were games that Otimi cross the board and now finding Cole Palmer or even Nicholas Jackson or any Chelsea player in the box to score. Yesterday season, he was one of the players now on numbers. So maybe Arsenal for no might be expecting the kind of goals Bukayo Saka at the moment. But in terms of carrying the ball and also creating chances from space anyone, that is what he has been doing. Now, if you look at Arsenal team list, scoring and dropping points against the big teams wasn't something that Mikel Arteta and headache. And what's your last season? Many times the number of teams are listed. Arsenal for a drop point to the most in the league last season. Although Victor Gyökeres by Onyanshe go against Liverpool, Man United, and in fact, Onyanshe goes against any of the so far big teams are Omoni Amabo. But for whatever reason, Ucheki Arsenal ni games against the traditional big teams they are very good. Last season, teams that Arsenal drop a point was against Bournemouth, both home and away. Last season, Bournemouth share Arsenal both home and away. Then again, they also lost 1-0 to West Ham at home. And on ball draw against Brentford, Crystal Palace, Brighton, and Everton. 7 games, 5 goals for them to share. So last season, I say Arsenal for if we share some teams be Bournemouth, West Ham, Brentford, Brighton, Crystal Palace, and Everton. These 6 teams, they are the teams that Arsenal drop the most points. But when it comes to Chelsea, when it comes to Liverpool, when it comes to United, and even Manchester City, Arsenal have many problems. Open one coach, and Pep Guardiola, coach, watch Pep Guardiola more in recent times. Mikel Arteta is one of those coaches. So coming into this season, they brought in a striker. A bit more in terms of side teams, some low block teams, some defensive oriented team, you know, they can do that. And watch Gyökeres by ni goals, no, aqua against such teams. But against the big teams, when Kebian Kobe here, Gabriel Jesus, and Kobe here, Havertz, they are not getting that type of another number bit more that shape, especially against these teams. And there was one thing I'm highlighting here, and I've been saying it. And one reason why I was in high hopes that if Arsenal for Kofa is there in some games, they shouldn't play him from the flanks. They should play him from middle side, because or a player or Jibo wherever he finds himself, or better tries to beat my day at taking on. And although he might not be that ideal number 10 like Mesut Ozil, says Fabregas, man, Kevin De Bruyne, but he also have or possesses certain qualities we are able to the ball. And I've mentioned say Odegaard performance was done 3 seasons ago. Sometime I didn't compare Kevin De Bruyne. No, since then he hasn't been putting up that and he's not that creative enough to give the team 10 assists, 12 assists, 15 assists, and even add the goals from wherever he's playing. But now, I say Arsenal will have a problem, especially against the top 6 clubs and even clubs that defend very good and have good players. Looking at Victor Gyokeres, back in the first match, and I mentioned say because on striker always be an emoji ball running into the channels or running behind the defenders. Arsenal for the they were not finding the right passes. And the moment that ball passes not just and you are getting your opponent, who waste time and for your opponents also to get the necessary time and the needed time to build up. So if you look at Arsenal team now, since Victor Gyokeres is behind, they are trying to waste a means to try and get him to score goals. Indeed, Arsenal for some style of play kakra to suit on number 9, who will give them that needed goals for them to win some crucial games. Last season, more drop points, and then again they've been improving on how or make many more goals. Now, so far as beating me, Arsenal for gives me that to some, then looks like a game against Man City.
Yeah.
Victor Gyokeres against Erling Haaland in terms of touches, leads to Omunya 8 successful passes. Both Haaland and Victor Gyokeres. Onunya 13 touches and Haaland 14. The number of touches Omunya passes in BBR was okay, but then Haaland did the best thing. Go. Look at the goal, no boy. It was through a link-up play. And then Haaland no running into space and a ball. Now, several bit man that also. If you look at the game against Manchester City, there were several positives. This is Victor Gyokeres. Obeji ball in the center circle. And when Oji ball center circle, he had 2 Arsenal players running. Baku was ahead of Man City players, And then Abranta Calaferi Eba. Virus man next one, Embra. Now the next point, Opia ball no so ma Calaferi about. Now, so we a striker now back Bejiboa. That is one thing the match striker be there. So Opieba made the Bejiboa beat the Hurricane against Chelsea. Oba o make passes simple. Senebia or no bit media creative space. Now Victor Gyokeres Jibo or center circle. Here be Opia ball now there be. Meanwhile, Calaferi is even closer to him. Now virus man the next one Embra. No or misplaced pass. Another one was City yes. Or ball ne chair and then Kusanov. Ekoko Jibo. So from center circle, our create other ball nearby now. One for ball now boxing. Pass are now some quite early stages and at time on your ball 10 and 1 year that time no. But he waited for 3 Arsenal players to arrive in the box and pass no mark Calaferi was a poor one in the cushion of so a slide the J ball now or the clear incidents no. Now there's other ones are various between us and so that so Nina a brand no the movements and indecisions. This is Victor Gyokeres beam. So far as between my first one about. Wajibo running into space. Wajibo let me attorney. This is him running to the space. And then a timber. Abobon the man. So the next one. I born elko. That is here timber was still or making the runs. Various my next one embra. This is Victor Gyokeres. Wait me again when you pass I find it very well. Now the next option is either he will try and find ways and means obe shoot to outgo and obe lay ball to the nearest player obe beno. Now the next yes, so obe hold it up nicely, but various man next one embra. Now this is the next one about or we'll hold it up. I'm a City players now, but now no he has Arsenal player in the box, which is Merino. Now the final pass to Merino was also a say ball. In the ocean, the game against Arsenal and even the game against the big teams. Whenever Obe make it as nice run, boy never finding the beyond. It's either send the first touch, a very bad for the opponent no everybody lose possession and I say the final pass now Sabaros beat me dey only a year City, I think City the year okay beat me the only United any be that to so mamia against United there were several instances Obuli delete. This is already delete. First one, this is Victor Gokres making run behind a year Matisse delete. And then a white and a ball man. Now virus man the next line number. This is him going 50-50. Ball in Amrim. Look at Victor Gokres and look at Abranson the day Matisse delete. Chasing the ball. Virus man next one number. Now this is him. Shoulder. And the OBT Matisse delete. Now the next one, when you're born away, or 10 ball because what dummy delete you or 10 ball touch now or the 10 ball. Look at how long the pass was. Now nowhere from Luke Shaw. This is Luke Shaw now born echo true. There's another one now. Osansu bully another United defender against United. The virus by or the also this is another one against delete me. Another shoulder to delete. Where the ordinate to form. Now what 10 this was when the ball was going to delete. I'm ball pass to empty space through that channels. No. The next one was another shoulder battle against Onim Matisse delete him. And or Osanso Ebony to Hubib. He got the ball. This one the first time now echo too wide no. Now Unya sa 10 him. Or 10 that was Noni Madwiki running into the box. Look at the space between the Arsenal player now. Oma highlighting the yellow and be in between the United players. No. Just a simple touch for the player. Now, next one about. Then again, Wasanso Abobono Ediache. So Victor Gokres against good teams. No, idea. It's either they fail to find him, and now whenever they find him, either a bad touch, and now on to me and link up play very well. No, then no magic ball and finish him. And it's something that always in the Premier League. If Arsenal were able to pick points from the traditional big six clubs, then they struggled against teams like Brentford, Bournemouth, home and away. Drop a pointer. It tells you that Arsenal will need their backup options. Will be to say Havertz and Gabriel Jesus to be fit enough. Say, or meet me share these teams are another traditional big clubs. So meet me go. So if look at Oni Halana, the difference is that we link up player. Haaland no all be running to spot. Onyabo a simple touch, he gets into the box. And one thing about Victor Gokres, the position especially in the box, very bad. There is one video be I know if virus beats me find him. Anytime be Arsenal players the Benyabo be and the movement into the box and where to find him. So another one and also about be a problem. Into me be highlight it, but virus I know then so that then I will end that one and move another game. If you look at Gokres, there are several instances in as much as moving into the space, the link up plays no, the final passes and in the first touches near idea no. Also in the position in the box. Whenever Sebo Nikita Merino, Sebo Nikita Eze or Martinelli, in the position in the box, idea affecting no. So this is when Noni Madueke nya ball. I know him say Noni Madueke left footed, and this goes always be a Haaland share. Or they can call far post. The moment the cross will come, you see where Leandro Trossard is. That is where Osaka Victor Gokres will. So always be the positioning always in the box. Idea it sounds so equitiano and idea I think that he has to improve upon. If Victor Gokres and improve it, that thing, especially having goals against the traditional big clubs, 6 clubs in England now, still it will be something that will be affecting Arsenal for them. And you see, we've been saying say. Arsenal team for the past 3 seasons are about second. They lack some simple things in football. Mentality. It's a young team. Mikel Arteta Beshishe went Obai 5 or 6 years ago. Obai Odomaji the FA Cup. But always Arsenal for any point. We're checking the point for the last 3 seasons. Or more points than any other team in the Premier League. But they haven't won the trophy. Always be on that second point. And if you look at the points, only this second, it was even more than points Liverpool did league in the last season. So Arsenal team no, need now talk about mentality. And last season, when Man City were trailing by a goal against Arsenal, City players no, man celebrated, man celebrated goal no, but they pick a ball at the back center because they were having the edge. Now this is a Man City team, whether we like it or not. Pep Guardiola is son in Yemamu. Now even Ohunse or game no better no Olidia, he will try and defend because in the Premier League you have to do that. So Pep Guardiola is son the system and he's a coach always be or are there something new to the system? And then Arsenal played against Manchester City at home. City were fortunate enough to get an early goal against Arsenal. Arsenal they dominated the game, created a lot of chances, see the number of corners but they didn't utilize all these goals till say a fine pass from Eberiche Eze before Mikel Arteta moving a comment because Mikel Merino as the number 10 wasn't creative enough for Arsenal team no. And then again when Omode Martinelli and then pushy Eberiche Eze to that number 10 role and Arsenal were even attacking. And you see, when no Ohia goal, used to. I mean, you changes Arsenal here in show. Or the Eze Ebeyi Mikel Merino. And no ye no ni Madueke because Madueke there no because Onya injury. And now reporting says Madueke will be sidelined for the next 2 months. And no the Bukayo Saka
3 months or 2 months.
2 months. And then again, Obeyi Julian Timber, which is the right back. And no the Martinelli, who got them that late winner against Atletico Bilbao. Enoyi Trossard, Eddie Nwaneri Bemu. And then again, when Obaeno Zubimendi moved to the back, Intina Kwakoye, Saliba, Gabriel, Zubimendi, and Ricardo Calafre, and even Rice moved to the back. So they were all attacking. In that game, they had Martinelli, they had Nwaneri, they had Eberiche Eze, and they even had Bukayo Saka and Abranta, and they had Martinelli in the game. They were creating chances. Now goes number. See the number of saves Joanunji Donnarumma. And arguably, although City Elusu, the City drop 2 points after leading by the see Arsenal shots, 12 shots on my boy. All the 3 shots are now on target. Nina, listo. Goalkeeper and service goes Nina. And you see, after Arsenal scored the goal, our man dominated game. If open winning mentality, especially against Tuchel time at Chelsea, Ancelotti, Real Madrid team, look at Pep Guardiola teams. Amuno Bono, while leading one on mention 90 minutes, they will still come and take the ball and come and score you. Look at Liverpool, last minute goals on Moshe. So it's all about the mentality.
So it depends on the opponent.
But and I mentioned Chelsea last season, when Arsenal shared City won and City better, it's the same City players. List they all took the ball to the center because also at this moment, they sat down also. But when Arsenal's first goal, Martinelli, all the players were jubilating. Zubimendi depending play or Kokofa ball nearby, and it's something I think said Mikel Arteta listo. He should work on it. And after scoring the goal, now the pressure is in. So now we believe say when your point newi, what take kabako or sounds we use Zubimendi. Eddie Moscara because now I believe say what take away. So he has to bring in another defender to defend the game. So to me, Arsenal did very well. They have a very good team. But these are the small things that if you don't have that mentality, players not matured enough in such situations will always go against you. And I think they are equal against Arsenal. We Arsenal so far this season. I'm now dropping points against City. We're dropping points against Liverpool and also against United or picking points. So if second round when to me and Savage and points from Liverpool and Man City definitely the small clubs in Libya last season was very difficult for them to score them. They tried as much as possible to secure those victories. And then again, United at Chelsea 2-1. And that game, a lot of things in the course. Chelsea were down 5 minutes into the game. And American can say Robert Sanchez led the team down after getting that ball because Utie Enzo Maresca, he mentioned, said it was just 4 minutes, 5 minutes and a half, but we still have 90 minutes to play. Against this United team, defensively, they are one of the worst teams in the Premier League. So if you are going to this game and only in fact way that United show back, it is nothing. We've seen them scoring ahead. Still Omu trailing at the end of the game, Omu Lusu. So if Chelsea will come one of the teams that multiple creating chances, I share most of the goals in the Premier League this season. Now we share United they are equally good in creating chances, but more conversion rate, you have to take care. Say 5 minutes only let your team down. To me, after that, United ever been a goal. Chelsea kept on creating, but to me, that 2 changes now, coach in here. It didn't sit well with me, and I think say, coach, maybe the plan are all having some combination no game anymore. Probably Kopama because media no. He mentioned say Kopama wasn't 100%, and if he had knew say Kopama would get injured and our own team into a game, so from 20 minutes going now. I'm not sure Kobe Pedro Neto Estavo Frimo. Now, after goalkeeper getting a red card, we have to sacrifice one of the players. In fact, you have players number 4-2-3-1 system. 3 now no year behind Joao Pedro. No, your players are naturally they can play from the flanks. So who sacrificed Bako at the goalkeeper Boma? It was squared. But then again, Pedro Neto also coming for a year Tosna Darabio. The reason why I make a coach and getting wrong and they say, listen, this was a gamer. We knew say a team anymore. We have only one player. The reason why last season Tosin be a good player, I'm not for you especially the area boss because a team not really or boy especially you share teams now or long balls now. So into this game, we know say they are going to start in Buemo. United for ball esim. So definitely you will get another player obet me amount area stability. You didn't start him, but after going a man down, I who say Sesko was picking all the long balls, and he has also sacrificed another midfielder. It was a very good change to bring in Tosin Senko to manage Victor Gyokeres. But maybe say, whilst we know say Palmer wasn't the 100% fit, and removing 2 best wingers so far this season against a United side, only so a man down defensively. Ubin here. That player no be more that speed because Joao Pedro no and that Nicolas Jackson type no be more speed. Any other striker be more that speed up front. But to me, I think that 2 changes no. Senko be a timer and Kayin film. But then again, listen, after doing that 2 changes and even Palmer getting injured or the Andre Santos Ebemono, he still had 2 changes to make that thing right. So for Fona now Senko in film. And maybe I could be replacing him. Maybe he felt it was too early. And then again, all the Tyreek George Bemu. And later on, Obeyi Kukurela Eddie Malogus to Bemu. And I was like, listen. This is a club who have spent over £90 million to buy wingers. In the last season, if you look at wingers, or more the European top 5 leagues, or more output in terms of take-ons, in terms of dribbling, in terms of creating chances Gittins any Garnacho kind of top 20 to bring these players into the team, players who can hold their weight like how the coach wants, players that Omusha teams space is done much they can utilize and score. Although Gittins by no unya hete like Niema M Shedan Koye man, but at least you brought in a Tyreek George who almost joined Fulham, but just that because of some mistakes, the Chelsea, because the deadline day, were trying to find a lot of solutions. Into almost missing some of the documents and didn't go through. Now we brought in that guy to also come and strike. Or by about flanks, he was leading. Of course,
I think that I have an issue. You don't expect a game like that. You go and you open up. And at the time, I won't say. Your only outfield player, and they were playing 3 back. You see, we shouldn't forget they are playing 3 back. The moment they defend, only a 5. So if you touch a line, what you are doing is you are giving them opportunity.
No, it's not about
he wanted to.
The space then down. No. Tyreek George is not better than. He didn't. But the thing is, Tyreek George not in Birmingham was the wrong substitute.
How?
What was the impact in the game?
Now at that time, what impact?
At that time, the game was squared. Yeah, button against them because look at the timer. Casemiro G red card. First half. So Uber second half. The Omar Benjamin Sesko Eddie Manolo Gata, but because Omo the red card, Omo short to midfield. And United midfield always whether a 3-back system, whether Omo when Mazrai Omokwa they attack. So we needed players and can you me Eddie bit of that fast, but Tariq George ni inclusion. You cannot tell me that if a Alejandro Garnacho and Odini Bemu and Konya that space and on exploit this aspect. And he said,
you are only assuming because
but the plan input yes or by why you change this
input in idea.
Tariq George Biden
what were you expecting?
Tariq George Biden obey.
What were you expecting him to do?
But coach in the Biden sorry. Your bad game.
He wanted to
down.
No, see, he wanted to have another man in the box.
Another man in the box.
Chelsea wanted to attack from the right. That is why every attack was coming from the right. And that is where Chelsea got their goal from.
Because we didn't have a better player at the left side. We didn't have any better player at the left side.
Because he wanted to what?
I didn't any critique from the right side.
No, he wanted because you have a right back who can cross well. So he was creating using Rhys James. So Rhys James was crossing the ball and all crossing ball now. You don't expect only one striker pen. You need somebody to assist him, and that plan nearly got the equalizer. Andre Santos because of they had a lot of guys in the box.
So if you needed somebody in the box,
he took the second.
All right. So if you needed somebody in the box, somebody closer to Joao Pedro. If you look at a bench, the only player what they have on for ring and bemu. Who's the one ball cross? He a player. A banner say on run into the box. Obe shield Joao Pedro. It should be Magui, the striker. So if you needed the striker in the game, you don't have to bring Tariq George in the game. Tariq George inclusion in the game. What was it? Senk Omame take you on because at least all the gates in Bama, all the ball commander, he can dribble past players and open spaces. Start back now can. United players, you say a friend say Iwobi and other players dribbling passing them.
Tariq George by the ratings was 1.6.1. The ratings 6.1. Or the accurate passes. On your 10 touches. The accurate passes. 5 and onya meba or attempted 7.
I'm not talking about passes.
No, you see the point is the game, no. The game had been lost from minute 4.
We didn't. You see,
so the coach decided to salvage it. And onona dream, no. If you check Tariq Georgia or 5'11", or the height 5'11".
But Tariq George is not a better area. Only good and saying Magui aerial. Magui checking the goals, especially even at Barcelona. Who per player a presence in the box? They shouldn't be Tariq George. Tariq George, the carry out. How many times I say Tariq the height or didn't see Abobo? I should go at Chelsea.
He wanted the player in profile.
So was he the best option from the bench?
According to the coach, he thinks
that is why the coach didn't wrong.
How?
Because player ni buy no. The input was 0.
And yes, 0. The input
if you break
0 no 6.1. And me come on 90 minutes to be
6.1. Go.
What are you talking about?
6.1. 6.1. What the Tariq George did
seven accurate passes no attempt to you. Or make it 5 correct.
Now some Mijana possible
he was always in the box and running
because me see the game I watched used to the coach
no
that is so let me give
Chelsea,
my point of view.
Chelsea Obia it was a day so I was everything was not going in Chelsea's favor. Osha even cried at the timing of Kupama injury as against timer penalty when by red card in the buyer. You could clearly see that it was a bad day at the office. But even after Chelsea echoed down by a man. Chelsea was still stringing passes and even trying to create chance. That is why Omunya red card. Yeah. We dominated the game in the second half.
What
are you talking about?
So what about domination? Tariq George in the buying. It's not about you dominating.
Is it the first time at Tariq George free bench about best game at Chelsea?
Now Tariq George about game best game.
Our game against Brentford, free bench about
Chelsea. The only game.
What are you talking about?
Impact.
No, how many games?
Even that game, how many wingers?
Say how many games? How many games?
So if you need
against
the player
Brentford to be came in at the same time.
The reason why I'm saying Maresca Kenyan wrong is if Tariq was coming to play from the flanks, but
Obey from the flanks.
We have a number 9 on the bench. Why do you bring Tariq George? Meanwhile, you have players that
and
Tariq is not a good player than Magui in the box.
But what boss second striker this season will be the results are better. So what
results?
Your game, all the games are Tariq George.
So are you trying to say
second striker?
If Chelsea needs a striker, we should go. Chelsea should play Tariq George ahead of Magui.
Chelsea has played Tariq George. It was our position and your resource or your way. Ube challenge against Fulham or by the same thing. It was a game. It was a lost game. Young man came in and changed the game for Chelsea.
And this game he didn't do anything. And the reason why I'm
he didn't do anything. But
and now
the ratings on the corner about 10 minutes or 20 minutes. The ratings, and you almost have been born 90 minutes here. That
is why
it doesn't there.
Coaching
it doesn't there.
Especially starting Chaloba and Fofana in this game was wrong. That two changes. Panicking.
Red card now.
No, because red card now panicking.
The red card.
You don't expect.
You saying starting Chaloba and Fofana was wrong.
No, I wouldn't. You know, say definitely. This Chaloba and Fofana, none of them and area are good.
And about aerial duels, maybe.
It's not. No, you are going to face a team.
That's not how many can say. One or can say about aerial presence. Says could you be unreliable?
Because says could you reliable.
Because on try long balls. Who see there be?
I've never said
link up play.
But link up play any area.
Maybe going into the game. Chelsea.
Says could be every potential.
Every player be.
Let me finish my point. Too bad not be make you points. So what I'm saying is, two changes now coach in here. He had an opportunity to make it right in the second half. Now you're 10-10 man. You don't 10-10 man. No, but we're in a striker. Eddie, midfielder man on the guy table. So what do you have to do? You have to bring who players or more the pace, the energy to bring that. And at that moment, I didn't see Tariq George being that guy because it doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense
to buy players.
It's an insulting.
To buy two players.
It's an insulting word.
To buy 2 players, £90 million. Then you bench them for player now. Not initially going to this is non-conscious count plans. Then another striker who has started a very good life. That was Sunderland. And your game also drop Pedro and drop Pedro deep. So you need a presence in the box. You can never tell me say Tariq George who is always a better player in the box than Magui. And really
this year, listen, this year Magui and Chelsea near preseason. This year Tariq George and Chelsea are pre-season. At the Club World Cup.
I even said Tariq George, he wasn't even part of Chelsea plans.
Listen, the first say we don't play and I'm calling to say to me you see player no. And that match ain't the only match or starting. And that's all man in the second half. Even against Brentford. Emuya Dina, you have players I'm gonna bemuno. 46 minutes no then buy. They came and changed the game.
But
Chelsea nearly
George Osanso in everything.
Oh,
you see,
listen.
You are making a point. But that same game not but Osanso in everything because
he got it wrong in Obua.
He got it that
change against Fulham. He didn't get it wrong. The only thing is
Fulham as more game
Fulham no didn't be the lap. And later
Fulham game now Okan. That impact on that last season Fulham now.
They be Okan this season.
But
this season against Fulham.
Against
Fulham.
So why adding to the
there be ordinary Bemu because of the lap injury, no?
No.
And because of person a change.
And I didn't also see Tariq George for you.
There be on say
the game has been won.
The game has been won.
Close game. And
so in this game, it was wrong to bring that player.
In this game,
it was wrong
that game against Fulham.
What be that?
That game against Fulham. So it's no on your preseason. Now Magui, by how many games that Chelsea have? And yes, 4 games or 5 games.
Yeah.
So in this game. So if Tariq George
or maybe there is a hand lap about 14 minutes and obey you know it was 2-0
Tariq George
Tariq George Edini free mo on the 81st minute and on the Andre Santos bem. So how do you equate this and say Onyana?
So now me person handle this issue. I think that coach ni panic here. If you're a coach and who coach Chelsea, especially in big games like this, you don't have to panic.
Panic is the same.
And panic, any man here that useless changes
as a good coach.
No, yeah.
As a good coach,
and it doesn't
won
make
the second half.
And
he won the second half.
If you look at this,
the player, goalkeeper, no, echo give you the goalkeepers, 2 goalkeepers, 1 goalkeepers, they give it him away. He won the second half. What are you talking about? Second half. When it was 10-10, everybody saw it. What I say is panic here. He reacted.
If he had
every sensible coach
would have won the second half and won the game.
Every sensible coach walk away. And when you are in the last almost how many years?
13 years, 12 years.
12 years, who you know? Even with Tina, who are the champions? Work for 4 minutes.
But no sensible coach will buy 4 minutes, 90 million pounds,
4 minutes,
and bench them to play an academy player.
No, sensible coach. No.
No sensible coach will buy this
because
and record a potential striker.
On the day,
player na performance go. I was say what on 80 million. What to be that?
We saw the game against. We saw the game.
What to be that? Say, you got 200 million, you know. O performance still now.
Tariq the performance near.
This season, anything mama no. This season.
Tariq the performance near. You buy Garnacho. The 2 games are going. Oh, free bench baby.
Was you need 2 games about on go bia. Onye impact. Nothing's bad. Garnacho. And yes, omu nyomo chance.
Garnacho against.
And yes, omu nyomo.
Onya the chance no.
Onya Odebi. Onya neba against Fulham. He came in. We won 2-0 against Fulham. He came in. We won 2-0. Impact na area.
Garnacho back against Brentford. Enya chance dedicated the shape.
The chance
yes.
He passed the ball and he ball free.
Garnacho bomb.
Class any you ball in the free.
Oh,
chairman.
Against Kaiser go no share.
Chairman.
Kaiser go no share.
Enya Garnacho assist.
No, Garnacho assist.
I want to co-create.
I want to co-create with there. And
he created a chance.
And I said Tariq onu so ye bibi asa na ball ni.
Oba I don't know ye.
Me say onu so ye bibi asa. The point in say the fact say you told 90 million, 100 million doesn't mean
guarantee will start.
You need to prove on the field of play.
Yes.
Getting Senyano the chances. He's not proving. Unproving yet. We are hoping say ebeba. The fact say you told Garnacho. And you see, I understand why he didn't let Garnacho come into the game, regardless of the results. Because Oman warm up the atmosphere anyway. And don't forget, Garnacho is only 20 years. Chelsea fans, what happened to Fernando Torres when his confidence was shattered after joining Payana and Ancelotti didn't come against Liverpool. And boo to the extent it was beyond way. So he realized because you see now game he was getting ready to come in. Then the reaction who said no. Let me because you see guy in buy and unsettle yet. So I shouldn't any say me thrown into way. So nim system even if we lose this game, we will prepare for the subsequent games. The point is the coach never panicked.
No, we panic there.
How do you measure panic?
Panic there. He panicked.
The fact say, you see, the fact say, all reacted to.
No, your reaction and your panic.
Oh, and
no, break it down, man. Say,
can make a point.
Make a point.
The fact say, all reacted to something doesn't mean say we're panicking. The moment a red card, you realize that he was a worried man because Chelsea didn't start the game well, and the midfield was all over the place. So he realized, okay, then there is opportunity. Now, the red card number. Almost started at that. And almost buffy. This is a hard venue. So let me close the game and ensure that we will warm ourselves into the game. We have wingers bench. Even if say you want to me and Shania there, we can surprise them in the second half or something because it was only 4 minutes. The only unfortunate aspect in say after all years our subs ni we a pair. You prior Kopama because Kopama Emma say he could not continue and some changes now. KB and Kubeja either Pedro Neto and I say Estevao Baku and then obvious and could be Jabaku and then then you realize no I was some me me packing 15 me quarter only so or switch to three back the same system now Newcastle boy I did red card the same system now all repeat it but the point in it say Man United was all over us they got their goal. By the time I settle yes, but not yet from 2. And it was difficult playing 2 Old Trafford. A venue say a case who say a deal. I'm not sure say it was a panic.
No, Listo, going into the game, I didn't feel say a panic in here. One, as a coach, my main can't do a kind of press. Near you and MYBET I didn't say a panic. The first thing they say he complained about the moment I red card nearby. The tactics are no game was thrown into the bin. That was the statement.
Of course, yes.
Yes. The moment I'll catch him said, it has been thrown into the bin.
You try something, and
you try something, and when you are trying something, there are two things. It's either you're confident in what you are trying, or you are panicking for it to work.
No, they all try. He hasn't. Tio,
if you are
analyzing some of these things, now I'm putting on one statement.
Yes, me based on one statement.
How can you try something in a game? You don't try anything in a game.
United will be attacking with 5, so possibly we should defend with 5. So as I'm not kind in Senya with Vincent, to me, as a Chelsea fan, as someone watching the game, it didn't make sense to me. I didn't make us and say this is the only panel mark tackle 5.
You look at all match 5.
In the end, going into the game from minute 1, guess who defended with 5 because you attack you with 5.
There be or say
based on the red card,
red card.
Based on the red card, who defended with United 5? United in any game, players will start on wing back and no attacking with 5.
There be
we cannot run up and down the pitch.
Because of red card, they were attacking 5. And they did.
Masharawi, how many times you know Chelsea have?
Indeed, they did.
That
is why Enzo Fernandez now no can a double pivot or mobile double pivot was always in our box. And we have goal. What are you saying? They were not attacking. Dogu didn't have a touch in our boss. He nearly scored. That was they were. You see, that
was the 5 attacking players.
Different players.
Say who can man attacking with 5?
5 players. I mean what? Bruno Fernandes.
Yes. Bruno Fernandes finding himself into the Chelsea box when there was a set.
That is what he's saying. Sir. No. They will attack with 5. Also, challenge. And that is why he scored.
There was difference between a team is attacking and the difference between a team is on set piece. Then we are finding
set piece.
What do you mean? Can't say Liverpool are playing a game? They are attacking with 5. Now Van Dijk in them box. It depends on set piece.
There you.
And now a coach need tactics to switch.
Meba. United for first goal now, my boy.
Yeah.
They were attacking with 5 players.
They were
it wasn't
an open play. It wasn't an open play.
Bruno Fernandes, he hit map.
There been I say hit map there. Mate me akwa kojina.
I say hit map there. You attack here no kwede box.
Meba inti ye ja Pedro hit map. Ye be ja Pedro hit map no hit map for Chelsea box. My meaning is no defend there.
There be me kasa oye.
There be based on hit map.
Now what are you saying?
Me person me sure
say coach ne say red card ne buy no. He anticipated say United be attacking with 5.
They were attacking with 5.
And I said yes. And I said yes. They were attacking with 5 and pa. So the coach was not wrong. He was not wrong.
The attacking with 5 is not my problem.
So problem.
Maybe problem they say he panicked and he should understand.
Coach ne say or anticipated some attacking with 5.
He panicked. I didn't tell him say he panicked. He say
a simple ball where you players about to goalkeeper about 2 game negun. Yeah, the goalkeeper umoni di o.
But you attack the goalkeeper when I didn't buy.
The first
goalkeeper judges
over 2
over 2 wine.
Over 2
Jorgensen.
Me say over 2 Jorgensen or not start here.
Maybe who can say
two Sanchez.
Who can say goalkeepers no more see game. I'm saying Jorgensen.
Me say.
And then so my recommendation. Yes.
Jorgensen. The reason why Obi Amoni didn't say Sanchez and could red card now. You know even
on any day. On me ni made intia. Obi catch me say Sanchez is at fault for the goalkeeper. We pay. What do you expect from me?
It say and but coach ni na. Ono no team did red into no. What is better say team be attacking the
Chelsea against Barcelona in the Champions League final. There be una you are confusing people. Chelsea were Camp Nou against Barcelona, one man down. Their main captain John Terry.
They took an attacker out and on big defender by. And it's not
Di Matteo 4 changes to
you see, you see. Now what are you talking about? 4 changes.
Maybe so 4 and 3 changes instantly.
4 changes and I said I said how do you even compare the two?
Debio, say who can one difficult ground.
How do you even compare the two? Chelsea was going into the game leading by 1-0 on aggregate. What are you saying? What are you talking about?
That is the Champions League final. Unim say it's
a Champions League semi-final. You people just want to blame the wrong because
so who should we blame?
Or the easy target.
Say can't blame.
Me say see me challenging any say. Oh you say school height no. Any young players ni na obi no height. Tossing. So I would have loved say Tossing be the best start. But at the back of what he did.
And Tosin came into the game, he was poor.
It's not even about we. At the back of what he did, unique. Me coach and I said the entire one starting because he tamed in as much as say we dwells are area dwells I think say only one. Dwells area in or we need so he did that job. So that job na course team no. He did that. It's on hindsight. But I feel say it was a day everything went against Chelsea and it was a game you only learn from what the mistakes and move on. But to come and single out one person and say he saw because of red card and you see the game how Man United started the game they were all over us.
Maresca comment on say he saw and then you know I wouldn't on any day I wouldn't fall for Sansem no catch me.
On for what's the same?
Me after the press conference I got really angry. Was trying to blame Sanchez. Quite be so nice he's blaming Sanchez.
And why? Yeah, baba yeah adwuma we. What for microphone we bu no awie. Na say we react no akwa for microphone bi dia baba si wa. Wo se wo ba ya. The ono producing yen no. Wo na wo bu microphone no. The ono no air service situation no bi o de mic bi aba ya ye show na o kasa ama yi no. Or yeah ko blame ya de oja on na. Wo na wo what are you saying?
On any day he's a goalkeeper. So days are Sanchez are performing right no.
Obona Baziti no keep post no.
Yes. So this is the time. This is the time he came in.
Omaya say it is better to go down by a goal than
one can't jump to my
he's
best. It's best say you go down 4 minutes by a goal than a man.
And or say he's aware
Debbie.
But
to me, the evidence can concern is say he panicked.
And
on any day, he didn't react. He dominated game, no. He dominated. Dominated game because Man United team nasa.
Of course, yes.
It's not dominating game, yes. It's on massa.
It's not
on any day, if it's against Man City,
Arsenal to me for dominating.
If it's against Man City, if it's against
Arsenal, now what tipping is on Oko Trafford to me for dominating. No,
that was the first game of the season.
It's the
oh, na send it to me see.
Then it me see.
And then on any day. Maybe if you're a man down, na uyi one player. Who person switch it to on our account or switch it to a 5-back?
Of course,
against Paris Saint-Germain, where Pedro Neto he was playing literally as a left wing back.
One man boy,
Maresca.
On a day,
5-back. No, why do you have to now take Pedro Neto out?
Because now I was or per se or yeah then or making sure that the midfield no. or person or not this obey you Man United midfield because Man United midfield no but be obey me overload you see that is why I say this people underrate these people underrate people underrate this coach na name
obi underrate
if you want to score if you want to beat Man United beat them through the middle. You beat them through the middle.
And if you are beating them through the middle, you are shorting men there.
There be one shorting man. He had 3 midfielders. I don't want to give him.
He had 3
midfielders. And that is why
some midfielders are more defensive midfielders.
They are not. They are not
about numbers, matching numbers.
That is why.
How many times I say Enzo Fernandez that up and down?
That is why they managed to reduce Man United to also 10 men.
No, then they out.
What are you talking about? Out of the end.
It was an initial plan.
In your initial plan, you need to be smart.
Maybe we'll say that is why.
You need to be yes.
So it was an initial plan. So after reducing them to 10 men, what did you do? You lost the game still. So I tell we see that no just here na to obebubu.
There be una say obi lose match ai.
There be.
Coach is an initial plan. Coach is omati bibi e wo wi asem they lose match. What are you talking about? The best coach in the way. Wan come Marseille and no. 1-0.
If it was an initial plan,
what are you talking
to take one United one man?
Initial
that is who statement.
Point now me make say he realized okay now maybe a game na do no. I was saying me them quarter back. Now me making sure say I will get Reece James and Cucurella say on ko manim. But I need to ensure say I will control the game. Even though that film I will control the game. So he had 3 midfielders.
Not ready to score goal.
3 midfielders, not ready to score. And you go na
these are 3 midfielders that they can't get into.
They can't get into your goal. The best scoring midfielder in the Premier League was on in the match. So what are you saying? Enzo Fernandez, is it not the best midfielder in the Premier League last season?
Based on them.
Based on the who be say based on them?
When I say the best midfielder in the Premier League last season.
The statistics.
And I'm saying based on them.
Last season he scored both assists and goals
than Kopama.
Me say midfield. Kopama. You are saying say midfielders not the by goals any. And I make a choice say this Enzo Fernandez or there. Is it not a goal scoring midfielder for Chelsea? Is it not?
Because Enzo Fernandez, I'm better Enzo Fernandez as him.
Then how can you? And I me can dey.
There
be your point I will make any say.
No. Uma embezi and point because you didn't say attacking Maresca.
Of course, yeah, that is what you are doing.
Me at Chelsea Bayern Munich, but now can even though say after the game the coach had a plan. Baltimore said the players caused the game. This is a game. This is a game a coach caused the game.
What is all you're doing?
With panic substitution.
On course red card no.
Panic substitution and on a course red card that he
there be on after the game yesterday. Venue at you. Venue you see that's what I'm
Debbie. Because this is any day. This is football.
I feel me venue Gassam.
And the match Chelsea nyana dreams or coach for the cover ball. Uncle Jino 1 point no brave here. And
the venue no.
There's nothing that Chelsea betting. If you are putting history into this, then Chelsea should never go to Old Trafford.
We shouldn't be sitting here making analysis. Why we sit here make analysis and refer to past events? Why? The venue is a point. Analysis used to past events.
What the venue is a point.
The venue account
meaning Chelsea shouldn't go because in the end, if Maresca catch him, so prepared to go and win the game and you can't throw because then how can the venue plays a point.
Me can they na make.
Say you prepare.
One prepare so because.
There be me see so prepare so ko win game based on your factor. Meaning then your boy because the venue is a point and I will state you know.
I say man okay argument.
Who's the venue no? Who's the venue ni play a factor.
See asem na make no. Mami can asem no. I'm talking in a clear context.
And I make say this is a coach.
Me say he went into the game with a plan.
Yes.
The lineup will be by a static game no. Within 4 minutes you are down by a man. And at the time the Man United had created about 2 chances. Chelsea didn't start the game well. I've conceded I say. Then the red card followed. The coach said he would have loved say at that 4 minutes it is always difficult because you cannot and you are going to run the entire 90 minutes chasing shadows. We are even fortunate say Man United and a sure 10 against 11. Oko Etihad 10 against 11 4 minutes. You will pay for it. they will make you pay. And no, you cannot blame the coach because he prepared with 11 players. But I person me say, I can 11 and cause magic. How is he going to do that?
Cause magic saying.
How is he going to do that?
Me bawo. Oh, cause magic saying.
How was he going to do that?
And no, Vincent explain here. This is a game. This is a game. You are chasing the game. You are chasing the game by 2 goals down. If you are chasing a game by 2 goals down, automatically, mentally, when him say this is a game you may surely lose. The possibility of you losing is high. So if the possibility of you losing is high, what do? You go in all hands or all guns blazing. Chelsea fans will be happy.
Chelsea fans, mo complaining. I've read a lot. I've read my reading
and they were doing what?
They were
happy with Maresca.
No, they were analyzing the situation
based on
making sure.
These are the Chelsea fans. They are all blaming Sanchez.
Of course, yes. And you know
this was a quote. This was a quote of a press conference. Mike Boom Cabo. This was a quote of a press conference. Me say. After the game, Chelsea had 95 minutes to win the game. Into Senka, Sanchez, Jaima, and Buemo Shea. We had 95 minutes to win the game.
Of course, yes.
Sitting on the touchline, you also had 95 minutes to make changes and win the game. Yeah, who teams from 10 men winning games? Real Madrid, this season, how many times do we win a red card? How many times do we win a game? Against
Real Madrid, Onya red card against Atletico Madrid, Atletico Bilbao, or even Barca. No, what are you talking about?
Then
and even that Real Madrid red card not only did one. It only did one now. Yes. No draw.
Yes.
And he won last minute. That's what I'm saying. Say, Osia PSG. And your opponent, you know, chairman. And your opponent, you know. And then go home. He played at home.
Okay, into
what I say.
In
the end,
Madrid were 1-1 against a top coach like De Zerbi.
Top or your top wing, or your top wing. Who gave him that top badge? Or your top wing,
or your top coach?
Because according to
of Ejuma.
What has he done? What has he done?
Sound sing Bibri.
Or sound sing one.
Bibri.
Sing one.
Sing. Meet my book coach is better 10. Sing Amorin.
Oh, no, of course. Any obey my boy. No more son. Send me come you coach.
We
are talking about top coach. I will say top coach. And the man for top and count.
Or a top coach. Or a top coach.
And Real Madrid was playing at home. Different because the supporters is there.
So if Chelsea were playing at home in Cameroon,
after even red card, can't see. He didn't panic. He reacted to what they said.
We are just hoping.
And he managed to keep Chelsea set 2-1. Uncle embarrassment.
Debbie,
United. And he managed even to keep the game. And he could have even gotten a point. If Andre Santos had in the short and the right hand, he could have even gotten that.
Maresca, Obi and crazy Maresca.
Debbie, people are fan of that.
But the tennis,
he got it wrong. So Onyani blame, Onyani wrong, baby. Onyani wrong, baby. Whatever happened, me. That after the game, after the red card and the man who's a good coach. Hey, I want to make us a coach.
And
the guys are no in match. No, say, hey, my coach no good.
Which changes no
good.
Changes no
coach no good. Yes, or you be perfect.
No, I'm supporting my man. You.
Me say, or you be perfect. Coach, we be underrating on you have a problem. You want to also.
You. Yes, and say no Chelsea there na. They unko Ballon d'Or anymore.
Yeah, you real Ballon d'Or Endra. Top 10. Kopama real top 10 mu. Amanfo bebre ntiase. Say owura mu. Otiase ontiase o list na ba abonten dada. Akaso obewi na afi. Epo no mekwa kwahye o makwa akwahye. Amanfo sheda pushi Lami Yamal, of course yes. Lami Yamal wo hwe ne performance utumi enkasa akola no onimbo ne bopa but at the important part and important stage of the season he couldn't match Ousmane Dembele, and Ousmane Dembele ne comeback no has been phenomenal. A player injuries, he blew up quickly from Rennes, moved to Borussia Dortmund, dominated the Bundesliga, had the big money move to Barcelona, and injuries decided not to allow this player to perform. And for him to come back this way to win the Ballon d'Or is very inspirational. Into top 10, I'm part of Ferguson Yamoboso, Oma. Second, Lami Yamal, on also winning the young player award. Vitinha also third, Mo Salah fourth, Rafinha 5, Ashraf Hakimi 6, Kylian Mbappe 7, and Kupama 8, and Donnarumma Sono 9, and 10. Donnarumma 9. The goalkeeper as well to Miriam, and so
Nuno Mendes.
Until moment share a Ballon d'Or anymore.
Yes, I think Osha Ballon d'Or top 10 na me issues be pretty ewomu, and I think say the award scheme based on senior ekomu kwa kusini say the top journalists are more like the top ranking countries journalists and voting. So sometimes when it comes to voter, your favorites and nyama kakere play a factor ewomu, but based on football any ejuma omaye during that particular season, I think Ousmane Dembele obi eni would deserve it. That is the Ballon d'Or Nijano. Now, Oshe Ballon d'Or now. This is the first time after almost getting to 5 years and winning nomination. On Timi Remu top 13 pool. And Oshe those years back. This was a player who struggled from Dortmund time at Barcelona. Bo Remu now feel he's unstable. No unco training. Quite be so no energy so beko Barcelona. Or Bo Remu or Barcelona. Also a lot of issues with injuries, lateness, edu baby game addiction. And in Yama be brilliant now for the ultimate MP do level until Barcelona this is kind of confano. Even in this Paris Saint-Germain team, a kete in Luis Enrique edging the squad number finished him because he didn't see any seriousness from the player.
Same season.
Yes, the same season.
Against Arsenal, no more losing
yes.
or dropping.
Yes, or dropping. He didn't see any seriousness in the player. Now Indra taking that award and all Danny agents, all Danny Mami, all Danny Bush and Fuasi show said these were people that even though they do baby no. The clubs now no about no GDO. These were the people that no more GDO. No can be my manager. Or see the agent catcher and they say, "Who say we player be a crime be so no beji Ballon d'Or ni be." So putting up that performance and wait me agent, I think say you be born about so you be bo biara or motivating any or no so me jina wait me agent this prestigious award. Now coming into the top 10, I think say their players they should have been maybe higher than the normal positions or more die. I didn't make us and say, "Okay, Ballon d'Or criteria some of the buyer performance fair play me individual and our team performance in and there were some of the players they did so well. Obita Rafinha this season, last season in the Champions League, he equaled Messi's best record in the Champions League. He also was on the same level, the best Champions League goal season by Cristiano Ronaldo. He was there with him. The only thing I had Adrian said he couldn't win the Champions League. He was the La Liga best player. And in the Champions League, Ousmane Dembele in that best player. A trophy wise, Udi Obia there to Dembele Champions League in the Omuni Nemu. Because of that is the highest trophy in Europe. In Saudi League treble, OG trophies were league more. The top trophy in the Europa or the European Champions League. I was expecting players like Rafinha, players like Mohamed Salah getting that top spot. Now, minim say it will go into the stage say Obiti say Lami Yamal, people would say maybe Otaino and maybe or a young boy or Bobo or Nasimuni Injehu. Yes, he was one of the exceptional players.
I didn't know course Real Madrid last
season. Because if Barcelona fans looked at it from the aspect, say, yem pushy the person who has had the numbers a bebe Dembele, I think maybe Rafinha would have given that competition up front because Ebani goals, Ebani assist, Ebano individual performance in games, he was there. The only thing I'm one is he couldn't get a chance to get into the Champions League final and battle Paris Saint-Germain. maybe you do Champions League final, no battle Paris Saint-Germain, I would have seen something different. And also the Brazilian national team couldn't also help him. That is the only thing about him. But I'm looking at players like Mohamed Salah, players like Rafinha should be given their flowers. Vitinha getting the third role was good. But I think, say, if you are rating stats, he wasn't near to some of the players. So with me, say, if I'm to rewrite everything that happened there, I would go in for maybe Dembele being my number one, Rafinha as my number two, Mohamed Salah performance or the individual performance or in the Premier League should be three. Then maybe the rest continue. But I think, say, Dembele being crowned the Ballon d'Or winner was something. It was exciting. That's say BBC it's me about.
Okay.
Yeah. The last time, Ballon d'Or players are predictions. I believe so. It's my win. I think that Mechanism make it a point. Say this season, the FIFA Club World Cup, anytime be a Ballon d'Or will happen in a year. There is a major FIFA tournament. You really have a impact. That was man so. But now what I'm saying is, if you look at the Ballon d'Or nominees now, the moment they be nominated player, no, the player somebody who can win the tournament. Now, Ousmane Dembele story, no, it should be something that I will say motivate everybody. Will be our show, no be OTA. It should be something that I will say motivate you because looking at a Brandon story, this is a boy from Rennes to Dortmund, and in 2 years' time, yes, in Neymar, every Barca from a 222 million euros transfer. As of now, I think the most expensive.
Yeah, still the most expensive. Yes.
Now you play a man about replace a French boy offer Rene be joining Dortmund in 2 years pay, and about replace a Brandon de Kylian Mbappe. Teenage at that time, and was a transfer second to Neymar. If you look at Dembele story, and then in 6 years, or spend the year, Barcelona, one inexperience can be. He was indisciplined, and then again, injuries was one of the major things. Easy picture Navarro was there also. A Brandon friend in the Diata. He was Dembele downfall. 50 where they were staying in France. Maybe a Dembele crew, baby, also of France. I mean, it's more or less like a Muslim community. And most of them people are more white people. And because of the relationship with Dembele, wherever Dembele could be, and if you're close to these players, a teenage boy from France to Germany and about England or no quantity, then he will get help from Nadamfu. And on status of a boy, I remember a time Basta focus with Dembele, chair for even more than the duration of Sanka or the recover. Then again, I granted by one box 40 minutes. You know, some surprise. So Dembele was quite unfortunate and not injuries had, but then again, stories said by said Osoria on that time. Obebo Gima, then he was always late at training. And at that time, I remember this year, maybe a story about how the story after marrying that Moroccan lady, Obabe Uba said now he has a responsibility. They own your time. Embo game na emaning late to train. But then again, Abasbodening na become Luis Enrique. Luis Enrique was somebody, if you look at Dembele rise from Rennes, Luis Enrique inquired about him before Abeko Dortmund, and even when he came back to Barcelona, Luis Enrique was a fan of Aya Branton. They tried as much as possible to help him. Washa, the number of goals Dembele Ashe across PSG, Nina, bro. The number of goals and even the goals or share, especially in last season, bro, that's 6 years. Okodi Barcelona. Now remember Ballon d'Or also. Then again, if you look at the family, Nadam for Diata way back or supporting and Genoa or J that word or born Mami Abaso. And then the family, and especially about the Atadi, Branton, so or Mother Cameron Cotton, so now on so soon. Now, Dembele rise Barcelona, PSG, people saw it coming, and especially he, the player himself, because so that video, famous video, not Luis Enrique, and he killed Mbappe, because even when Mbappe left PSG, he came to do an interview. The interview no said he Luis Enrique as a coach would like say the 5-4-3 attacking players no will have double figures than say their main striker will have 40 goals per season. It's if Desiree Doué, Bakola, Kvicha Varaskelia, Dembele, need all these players near 12 goals. It will be very important for the team. No, in Georgia, Dembele and Zangasano. Before Mbappe started season, he wasn't starting as that number 9. That role now Auburn. He wasn't starting as that role. But Dembele operating from the middle. Varus betting the PSG lineup been a middle to the Amamia. Dembele starting operating from the middle at times. Or both from the middle at times, especially and or both behind 2 attacking players. Indeed, Dembele started egg ball as the leading number 9 for PSG against Lyon last season. Almost started so bad, you know. Even before Kylian Mbappe, but no a ball in a middle row. But it wasn't the leading 9. No a ball behind Colomwani and Kylian Mbappe. And most at times a ball behind Kylian Mbappe and Cody Bracola. These 2 games here, Dembele started here from the middle. Dembele was against game here that's week. Then another one against Real Sociedad. So this was against Marseille, and another one against Real Sociedad. So Dembele, the starting season was Ramos, and then they started as the number 9. He got injured. Desiree Doué, Abosaro, Lee Abosaro. A lot of PSG players started that role. Until December 15th was when Dembele had the opportunity to play and lead the lines as the number before Dembele. Mbappe free on. Omo mane ya aware say this is how you be more born. Inti almost 30 season no. Obaka games are PSG be lose to Arsenal or Emirates. Games o lose here, especially in the Champions League. It was one of the main reasons why PSG for no omo koko ball playoffs. They didn't qualify outright because Bayern share no. As Arsenal share no. They even lost to Liverpool in that regard. So Varus the last one I'm highlighting better so Dembele role the moment a change years and now after Lyon December 15th starting here as the number 9. Nearly now started evolve around it, and you see the form of the Basel Creek that when I started that role, you see that in the game they are not share 2 goals because the movements any desire to do it Dracula and Vicha Carasqueriamo. The link up play and how they were moving the ball, complementing so much that the almost chance they make creative be a ness and so on. Whenever on make creative chance on new one, now question on no moment there, make assist. So this is Dembele. The goal scoring areas and then the chances on ya. Before that December 15th, on bonus loan number 90. Before that, no I should just 5 goals. No I should just 5 goals. Yes. And on the left side. And before
can change easily.
And
quickly.
Before I started that number 9 role now, near my complimenting and the no oppressive very well and proud to the season. I'm catching and say since Kylian Mbappe is leaving the team, you are going to lead us. So he knows Kobe lead the team from the flanks. But since December 15th, was just 16 goals. And then the expected goals was 12.4. So it tells you that Niro no nyan is something that a boy and a basketball nina become on Luis Enrique. Yes. Dembele, nobody. And the bit me, I can say the talent, born in the talent. This was a boy I know, Rene. He himself didn't know ni fitter any best because we have players omi nimble footed. Obi say Pedro. When you say naturally or right footed, but ultimately the left, but Dembele they don't know. Say or your right and or left because ono ne nsane me anu ni na no otimi su ni na into no ne nimble footed no ade ohun say naturally or your left and or your right. So he was a player. Yes, he's a player on the Cazola say no
ball corner left
or no say akwa no
ball right
naturally or left footed.
Yeah,
but timi su ni right no on the first say obi abo pass the nsane left or the bibia. But Dembele ne mami they don't know say naturally or your right because he can use everything and he's a player that he had a pace. He can dribble either or left, either or right side. So you can imagine the whole name of Jan Obasa Kokofa Branty by. And you see, I've always said, say, people when it comes to awards and Ballon d'Or, people should put the emotions and almost sentiment outside, because these awards and you're voting, you journalists across the world, and Opia was a Ghana has say Michael Otiaje and a voting. So you can ask Otiaje say about criteria ben and criteria no if I was betting that to so mamia. A clear individual performance. I don't know about first. So individual performance never first that. Then again, no more the fair play. Any team achievement, the signing money na and so media boom. In the virus here, the latest one I'm there too. Then Obiako Ballon d'Or website and so. Virus the Ballon d'Or criteria go there now the Ballon d'Or voting, how am I for you voting? So journalists never vote no. And me who line up no. And I mean who the top 10 no. I was quite surprised about where Rafinha but Zene how much me call Ballon d'Or website and so me who how the thing was on. This is the criteria: individual performance, decisive and impressive character. So individual performance, a kasabao with decisive moments, especially in your team, how impressive you were for your team. Any who individual awards our GA and team performances and achievements. Who team na ubono trophies ben adomo GA. And 3, class and fair play. Now about individual performances,
It was top class.
all the players are come over in the top 10.
Yeah.
Arguably, Obia because Uber individual just Dembele.
Yeah.
He had double numbers. If you check in the goals and to the games are huge and impressive figures. That one he's up there. Team performance and achievement. He was PSG for leading striker. If only game one they fumble. So one Odomo Aje, the Champions League for the first time, treble for the first time, and Osasu Lidiomo called the FIFA Club World Cup. Ekwaji the silver medal. And then again, about fair and class play. That place, Dembele will lose more points. That place, Dembele will lose more points at that place. In the Nevaros of Ballon d'Or, vote, and how the numbers are. Say if that Chimamo Selective say, go and vote on behalf of Ghana journalists. Now, Kwaku vote here, you will see it. And definitely, many can say, this award, amount for can and lose credibility. But you see, the moment they will appoint the criteria, and who compare these two players and all the players are nominated, that is when by say FIFA Club World Cup every play huge role. So any player ni team ambo the FIFA Club World Cup biano on the virus of Dembele then to one the latest ones na me yes, this is Ousmane Dembele. Nti kwa vote here match was say Ousmane Dembele ebo 60 matches or share 37 goals and provided 15 assists out of that 60 games of boy. So roughly, Abrante provided 52 goals involvement in the 60 matches are Abrante boy. Now, how many yellow cards no nyai? He got 5 yellow cards and no nyai 1 red card. So definitely, say who you voting na? In terms of individual appearance, virus bit mama enwa na to so mama. Who check the individual appearance and individual achievement he's up there. In terms of team Champions League, League A, French Cup, and I need or Sansu ye name be na Sansu ko nanim. And never was the other players there to so na me room fast. Who the Lami Yamal dey better so. Lami Yamal of 62 matches, he shared 21 goals, he provided 22 assists. Also nya 5 yellow cards. And also nya 1 red card. Oji La Liga, Oji Copa del Rey, and Oji the Spanish Super Cup. So who voted Lami Yamal? Individual awards, he was up there. Impressive and decisive performance for Barcelona. In terms of team achievements, Odomoji La Liga, Odomoji Copa del Rey, and even French national team, he was instrumental, although they lost to Portugal in the UEFA Nations League. Now, virus for Rafinha at the end so. Rafinha was 64 games, or shared 36 goals. He provided 24 assists. But I did a better Rafinha point, and I understand why Rafinha and me reached the podium. Because La Liga, Copa del Rey, and Spanish Super Cup, in terms of individual awards, he was the La Liga Player of the Year. Champions League, he was a joint top scorer in the league. In the bad individual brilliance, I think that he's or the numbers or the Dembele and Lami Yamal. But the Ballon leagues are, although the Brazilian national team and GBB, but you see, to me, Lamine Yamal did very well, and Rafinha and so or the opportunity. Because if you are comparing this, now you look at Adiabeti Rafinha card. Because fair play, he's an attack on the defender. When you 9 yellow cards, although Lamine Yamal in your red card, Rafinha in your red, Dembele in your red card, and then again, Virus and Fast Salah to Sumami. Salah about 57 games, scored 37 goals, and provided 24 assists. Another top player or GPFA player of the year, Sansuji, the playmaker of the year, Sansuji, the top scorer, or the Liverpool, edgy, the Premier League, and in the Champions League, or Liverpool's the FIFA Club World Cup, they didn't do anything inside that, and also ends me Ambwa or no Mohamed Salah in that competition. So fair play, this is Mohamed Salah, 1 yellow card. So Salah might be up there because of a point that fair play alone and individual achievement, will also help Abrante. Vitinha, that third position, I was hoping to at least Enka Rafinha beat my boy. But if you look at Vitinha, then 65 matches, or she 8 goals, he provided 8 assists from a player of both so much deep. PSG build up now started from the show, and he had just 2 yellow cards as a defensive midfielder. Team. So in terms of individual achievement, he won the UEFA Nations League with Portugal, Champions League winner, or the Ligue 1, the French Cup winner, Esansuji the French Super Cup winner, and then again, the FIFA Club World Cup. He was the second best player behind Kopama. And Esansuji the team no call. So I don't know, both individual and team achievement, also fair play. Esansuji to me about hobby. So to me, I think they are voting. But if you compare Lamine Yamal numbers now, I don't know, he will be up there, especially because of that decisive moment, About the numbers, he doesn't have the numbers more than Rafinha and Dembele. But I think that Rafinha, it is one of those things that sometimes you be in a team because we get the leader, because we check him as a team now. If they were pushing Rafinha, probably and Rafinha in terms of numbers and everything, but also are they betting the points? That yellow card and fair play, play a huge role in terms of that 3 yellow cards. So if you compare these players, individual and team achievement, they were all up there. But they have more points and they have more lose more points. That fair play role now, and so Ebua Rafinha, because as a winger, when you have 9 yellow card, also tells a point. So I think that the Ballon d'Or, always people should understand, say the moment that Ubenya tells them say a vote in a man for years or money, I think they did very well. In general, PSG were losing, they lost to Marseille, but they were able to win a lot of awards at theater hall. And Nassau Ika Life, I think that the kind of investments Qatar for about all over the years, and they last season for them getting the Champions League for the first time, winning a treble, and their coach winning the team of the year, coach of the year, PSG Men's Club of the Year, and then Dembele, another player to win the Ballon d'Or from PSG, and also I think for since 1991, since Pippin, he's on about the only Papin, sorry, the only player about the Ballon d'Or second league. So this award means so much to the French league, and UBBA. So to me, I think that Dembele deserve, all the players are more top 10, UBBA deserve it, but then voting and the points, or being more points, you will be deserved the winner. So I think that Lamine Yamal, he's very young, 18 years, what for podium, second time, and podium now offering, and he's a man team because we saw Vinicius Junior coming second against Rodri. He be motivated to say obey 10 times now. Vinicius Junior top 10,
16th.
or that's 16th.
Yeah. Yes, that is how life is, Charlie. Very, very. Me won't be that. I think the players be say Romeo Lavia for Fana can take inspiration from this. So they are not done because the talent the two, they have. I think how the injuries are disturbing them. Sad, but they can look at Osman Dembele aside. Now when injuries, time was on his side. Because we here to be covered 6 months, I got 3 months, I go away. Because of call into the limelight, and in terminant, and all the injuries near there, they are free. Now the age near saying 26 or 27. So He might not win it again. Because Charlie, the consistency level to get to this level again, no, ain't easy. 28 years. So 4 years to play at the highest level. And Osabo or Leguan, once a Leguan intensity, no, it shouldn't need to be precise. But as to say, obey to me and replicate you, know, you cannot never say never. But Abrantia, your friend, no, then Kylian Mbappe will be looking at it and he will be asking himself questions. Extending the contract with a PSG the second time and not the first time, was it worth it? Because I think at that time, had he moved to Real Madrid, he would have been the face. Anka Benzema be train Huama because Benzema was ready. But then now Obi anyone Benzema taking the mantle. So Kokoya not 3 years then. It's 2 years at the count. And a movie here. And yeah, he still has because we had ambassador out there man encourage Nina said team not as a whole no. And so Beboa not Champions League but we had the English Premier League and so yeah, Charlie. Easy the performances from the English Premier League teams and I know them so we will see. So next year why in a bit now a podium so is it going to be Lamine Yamal, is it going to be Marcus Rashford because Charlie also the performance now was starting and the confidence now one and you see he has that numbers in him. The only thing now can be a consistency. Yeah. So every other club now or one they will be able to ensure so they will get that consistency from him and if he's going to get the consistency I think that he has also started well. Yeah. The better the basic NS Kupama so injuries now started nkete. Ebeya as a Sergio Munya no in free ho na ombra to back again round now na oba be boeguma and also he can be considered any other day. Honum. Shenze next year so walk up here, yeah. Right? So it will come into
play a factor.
It will play a major factor. So very important say obia ebe to nyama. Hono e de call us no. Yeah. Us no for ene nyasem ketwa chale nyasem ketwa
Minko.
Yeah. Okay, what dey kwai.
Okay, ntimo 8 odds e ma hwe for ene MYBET.AFRICA ene games wo. Inti Barnsley ene Brighton win or draw 1.5. Wolves any Everton win or draw 1.5. Burnley any Cardiff 1 win or draw my Burnley. And Lincoln City ni Chelsea handicap of 1 for Lincoln and Chelsea to win. Fulham any Cambridge United handicap me man 1 goal say Fulham be win. And Liverpool ni Southampton me Southampton 1 goal say Liverpool and so e be win. Code no VW7Y MYBET.AFRICA.
Okay.
Yes, so my selection for the day now, me call Brighton and Hove Albion to win. Lincoln City and Chelsea to win. Fulham and a Cambridge game no, straight win for Fulham. Burnley and a Cardiff City, straight win for Burnley. Wrexham and a Reading Bebo, straight win for Wrexham. Liverpool Southampton, straight win for Liverpool. Code no H48Y. H48Y.
Okay, so my interest so now for me mobile media no enko Bilbao 1 up. Atletico Bilbao 1 up. Levante near Real Madrid. Real Madrid to score 2. Sevilla any Villarreal over 1.5 was our game now. And Oko Belgium Pro League na Anderlecht bo home on a gent and Anderlecht home win or draw. Sa game no honum na fee. Lake Up no. Brighton and Hove Albion on a Barnsley match over 1.5. Fulham ne Cambridge over 1.5. Chelsea ne Lincoln. Chelsea to win over 1.5. And Wrexham ne Reading. Wrexham home goal. Liverpool ne Southampton. Liverpool to score 2. And Copa d'Italia Sobo. AC Milan they want to win a trophy this season. So AC Milan home win. And Oko Omobo La Portugal no Portuguese league no. Benfica ne Real Ave. Benfica to score 2 goals. And Kings Cup Koso. Saudi Arabia. Al Weather ene Al Ittihad ene bo Al Ittihad 1 up. Jeddah ene Al Nassr over 1.5 inti me so me odds na na me adoma o china ye be sa ba na fi dia ka chiri na ye de abramo ya Real Madrid inti my bet for say mu twa Real Madrid ye na 1.29 yeah we ga o de good advantage but be da she o she enye ye inti no ye ntwa ma Real Madrid sa Real Madrid be wini ena inti no ya momode ya ye ntwa ma Real Madrid be wini kama sa so na be ba so be wini upa bia odd of 2 be ba straight win and Real Madrid so straight win e be ma odd of 2 now so dey go so o china ye be sa to aso na fe dey akechire nya